This podcast is sponsored by Organic Relief CBD. Huge medicinal benefits, great for recovery for all athletes. Please visit www.organicrelief.co.uk and use code Liam10 for discount on all products. 3, 2, 1, boom! Liam Nolan, thank you for coming down, mate. Good to have you here. How are you doing, brother? You all right?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for having us.
No problem, mate. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. Like you've said, we've mentioned you. I'm sure you've heard a few times on this podcast. You're one of the favourite fighters from quite a few of the guys we've had on here, me included. First of all, though, just before we start, we've got one championship coming again Friday, so it'd only be right just to have a little breakdown of the two main fights. We've got first Phetmorakot versus Sean Clancy. Now, Phetmorakot's been fighting in your weight division against some of the biggest guys there. Yeah. Obviously, Phetmorakot and Sogro, two guys I'm sure you wouldn't mind fighting. But he's come back down to 65 kilos now, which is his normal weight, against Sean Clancy, tough Irishman. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because, like you said, he's been fighting heavier. And not only has he been fighting heavy, he's been fighting fucking really good guys, you know? So that'll be interesting to see how he's going to be now at this weight. You know, how is he going to deal with the hydration test as well? Yeah. Because what does he fight in the stadiums? Like
I think it's about 64 to 65. Okay. I think he's like 143 to 147, but that's like 64 to 66 and a half. But it's a lot smaller than 70. And obviously he'll be sucking the water out of him doing that in the stadiums.
So that's the thing. How's he going to deal with the two weigh-ins? Yeah. The hydration test as well. If he comes out okay with that, I see him winning that fight.
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to be a bit too strong, a bit too much of a bull for Clancy. Oh, he's tough.
But Clancy's good,
Yeah, I can see it being a war, and he's got dangerous elbows. But Phetmorakot, obviously, he's got wins over people like Rafi, and he's fought a lot of good ties and stuff.
Yeah, people putting him down, but and saying he's not as good because he's had them losses, but he's won like Channel 7, a few stadium titles.
Exactly.
You're no mug if you've won them.
And he's beat like people like Rafi Boyd twice, and he's just beat Ponek, I think, and he's number one at Rajaramnern, or sorry, number one at Lumpini. Yeah. So it's just, obviously, he doesn't look the best in those fights. He's fighting giants. Yeah. Look what happened when I fought that way. I got my fucking head splattered everywhere. Yeah. At least he fucking lasted distance. But yeah, it'll be a tough fight for Clancy, I think. But yeah, I think Phetmorakot winning. The other one, we've got Superlek versus Fadi Khalid. Like Khalid fought the other week against a Chinese guy, and he looked really impressive. I know he lost to Rodtang, but that's Rodtang. Yeah. There's not many people in that division who will beat him. But Superlek is a completely different animal to the Chinese guy he fought last week. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, for sure. Superlek's got that one. You can just see him like hurting Khalid. I don't think he'll give up though. That Khalid, like you said, is good and he's tough. Boy. But yeah, I just see him like kicking and scoring and winning that way on points probably.
And if Khalid starts trying to unload punches, I can see him walking on a big elbow as well because he's very dangerous.
I see him getting hurt a few times during the fight, but I don't see him giving up.
Well, he's from Medi's Toots gym, isn't he? And all those boys at that Venom gym, they're all fucking really tough, really big heart, unorthodox, and really like they just throw crazy shit out of nowhere. So that. The element of surprise with them guys you've got to watch, but I can't see anything other than him getting right kicked.
We want to see Superlek and Rodtang now. That's what we want.
We all want it, man. Yeah. We've been saying it for a long time now. That is what we need.
That's the fight.
That's the fight. Yeah. So I'm not sure where Rodtang's gone, actually. He's been a bit quiet on social media. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think he's fighting Saksan soon for Omnoi title, right?
Yeah. That was meant to be. I'm sure it meant to be today because Seksan's opponent changed. He's just fighting now, Seksan.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think, So, it's Yod Lekpet versus Runkit was just happening when I came in, and I was trying to watch it just before I came in, and Runkit battered him. Right. Okay. And I think Seksan was coming on the fight after against, I forgot his name. I'd never even heard of him before, to be honest. But I think Rodtang were meant to fight him, but I don't know what's happening.
Something happened, yeah.
Yeah, it must have been. But that is the fight we want. Anyway, let's get on to you, mate. First of all, we just did a bit of training earlier, and you are really fucking sharp. So I was just going to ask you, I've asked a few people, what have you been doing during lockdown? What's kept you motivated? Obviously, you've stayed in shape because you were really sharp and strong then when we just did a bit of training, and I was really impressed because I'm a fat cunt. So, what have you been doing over lockdown? Because I've been asking a lot of people this, like that Jordan Watson and just fucking running marathons and doing crazy shit. Yeah. And we've had other people doing other madness. So, what have you been doing to keep fit?
To be fair, I've just been going as normal. I've been ticking over. But like I've been doing my sparring, I've been doing my pads, but I'm not trying to go too intense because there's nothing coming up. So I just think there's no point going really heavy in the spars at the moment. There's no point
picking injuries up.
There's no point doing any of that and like going for like because I do train really hard when I got my fight coming up. But there's no point doing those extra long runs and doing all the hill sprints and all that other crazy stuff that I have to do when I'm fighting. So I've just been enjoying my training, sort of doing it more for the social as well. All the lads I train with, I'm good pals with as well.
Yeah.
So we just come in, we have a chat, we do a bit of training, and you know, we do like 2 or 3 hours, but it's like, it's not too intense. We just have a chat and train. And yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I have been seeing some fighters who just do crazy mad shit, and all through lockdown they're training like they have got a fight. And trust me, I've done a lot. I'm 34 now. There's been a lot of trial and error over the years. You can't do that all the time.
No, longevity, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like my knees are a bit fucked and stuff now because I'm training on from mental through my 20s. If you're doing this with no like end goal, I don't get how people are going to know when they peak either.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's another thing with a hard sparring. Like in our gym on our Monday, we've got our hard sparring day. But at the moment, we're not doing that because no one's got any fights coming up.
Don't need to lose no brain cells when you haven't got a fight, mate.
100%. And, you know, picking up these little injuries. But when you got that fight coming up, to be fair, like, it gives you confidence.
Yeah.
When you've had a hard spar, like, you know you can have it if you need to. But like I say, right now, we don't need to do it.
Yeah, mate, that is exactly what is going on at Bad Company at the minute. It's just play sparring a lot.
Yeah.
Monday, we all turned up, me, Jordan, Badger and Joe, and all we did was just play spar. And we're all a bit old now. It's like fucking pensioners demo that we're going on, mate. But we all just played spar and stuff like that. Like you said, you don't need to be taking knocks, injuries and stuff like that. It's absolutely pointless.
Yeah, but then if you get the call, you know, and because you've been doing that, you've been ticking over, and they say 3-4 weeks, you know, all I need is a little tune-up now.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 weeks, I'm ready to go, you know, just get them sprints in, have a couple of hard spars and get my weight down. My weight's all right, actually. So, yeah.
You looked in really good shape and stuff when we trained earlier. Right, let's pull it back then. Muay Thai, your journey. Has it always been Muay Thai? Have you done something else? Because what I've noticed about you is you're really fucking flexible. Your kicks and your head kicks and stuff like that. So has there been anything else? Has it always just been Muay Thai?
It's Taekwondo and Wing Chun when I first started. Okay. When I very first started. So when is that
where the flexibility's come from, Taekwondo?
Yeah, because fucking hell, they used to make us stretch for like half an hour before we did any kicking.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
that'd be me done if I had to do that, I think.
Yeah, so at the time when I very first started martial arts, I was doing Taekwondo twice a week, Wing Chun twice a week, and like I did like a little MMA class once a week, and I was just mixing it up.
How old were you?
About 12, 13 when I very first started.
Right. And how old are you now? 23?
I'm 23 now.
23,
yeah. And then after a while of doing that, there just wasn't that intensity with it, and then I found the Nosey Academy. It was called Minotaur's Gym.
Yeah, Minotaur, purple and
that's
silver
purple
one.
And white,
yeah, purple and white. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So
were it still Chris running that then?
Yeah. So Chris has always been my trainer. He's always run it, even when we were Minotaurs.
Who were it before Chris?
Paul Taylor.
Paul
Taylor. And Chris has always trained me though. And then when I first went to his gym, I literally thought, fuck it, I'm not doing Taekwondo anymore. I'm doing this shit.
Sick.
Yeah. Because I was like, I've never sweated like I did. I was never out of breath like I was doing Muay Thai. So I was like, fucking, I'm doing this.
Well,
now.
I used to always watch Taekwondo in Olympics and stuff because it's the closest thing we've got to a fight sport in Olympics other than boxing. I remember watching thinking, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's you can't really get involved. Like you score a point, you do a kick, and then they stop you, they break you. So I wanted to sort of carry on. I had a couple of Taekwondo fights as well, and I just couldn't get involved like I wanted to.
How long had you been going then at Thai boxing before you thought to yourself, you know what, I'm all right at this. I might have a fight here.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
So I had my first like K1 fight. I was 13. I fought in Essex. I fought like a 22-year-old lad.
Yes.
Just like, you'd be all right.
Get in there. Were you big at that age? I remember when you fought Luke Emerson.
Yeah,
so you must have only been about 15 then.
I was 15, yeah. Andy couldn't believe it. He was like, no way. Nothing be like that.
What weight was that? 67, 68?
67,
yeah,
that's
big,
I remember that. That was a good fight in Liverpool.
It was a sick fight, that. Really good fight.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. I'll go back to what you're saying then.
So, what was I saying?
Just about your first fight. So
yeah.
13-year-old been thrown in against a 22-year-old.
Yeah, he's about 22 and didn't know what I was doing. I was just chucking big left head kicks at him. I managed to win on points, but at that age, like I'd had a few fights when I was young, like 13 to about 15, and I was fighting people like Luke and other guys, and I'd win on points, and I'd have really hard fights. I'd win some and I'd lose some, but I think it's because I didn't have that man strength. I always had that technique, but I just couldn't keep them off with the power, and they were strong, big and strong. So I just always had like a disadvantage with the power. But now I'm 23, I've got that man strength behind me. I feel like, if anything, I'm having like an easier time in my fights, even though the level is like so much higher now.
Yeah.
Just because like when I kick them now, they
you know,
fucking
move. You booted me out of ring earlier. How long had it been then before you started fighting? Because obviously at that time, I think Luke must have had about 15 fights for us. And he'd had some good A-class fights. He'd fought Mark Skier. Well, maybe I fought Skier after, but he was fighting at a good level.
Yeah.
So were you just straight in at the deep end then? Just like straight in, getting some good fights, getting a good experience. I love that shit though, because not many people are willing to do that these days. And that's how I would, Richard, like with us lot. Just get in there and fight. Who am I fighting? Doesn't matter. Get in there and fight. Because I've said this so many times on this podcast. I end up saying it all the time. People are too fucking scared on social media these days.
It's true.
They get told they're fighting someone and they go, oh, right, what is it? Yeah. Straight on his Instagram, oh, he looks good. Fucking hell, look at him knocking someone out. It's a bit of a curse, really.
It's such a good thing to have, social media, because you can promote yourself, you can do all these other bits, but like you said, you can look at your opponent. I remember I fought in America once. I was fighting like a UFC fighter, and he's unbeaten in Muay Thai though. He's a world champion.
Who was that?
Anthony Njoani, his name was.
Okay.
And I was fighting him for a WMC title, like headlining it. I think I was 19 at the time. And I was fucking shitting myself about the fight. So I've got YouTube up on the day of the fight. And he's got this highlight reel. And every time the beat goes, he's like knocking someone out.
Oh, no.
And I'm sat in bed going, oh, shit. Yeah. Chris like, yeah, you'll be all right, mate. Go and just
you
jump
won, though, didn't you?
I won that fight.
Yeah, I remember you with WMC title. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a good one.
What happened in that fight? Just beat him on points? Or?
Just schooled him on points, just out-kicked him for 5 rounds, really. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, you said you were worried. But you are obviously mentally strong enough in your own head to think, you know what, I'm watching this guy knock someone out. Like, you know what, I'm a bit nervous, but fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. A lot of people out there, and I've seen people do it, they'll do that and go, oh, my guy can't fight this guy. Why? Ooh, he's had too many fights. He's only had like 3 more fights than you or something. Just get in there and get the experience, especially if you're serious about making a name for yourself. You've got to do it, haven't you? Yeah,
them first few fights are important, right?
Yeah, of course.
The foundations.
Of course. And the thing is now, like there's, especially even if you've only had a few fights, everything's always getting out there on the internet and Instagram and stuff like that. That's the problem
as well. Like sometimes you don't need that, do you? You just want to go and have your fight and not have it posted everywhere, don't you? And just no pressure. That's why fighting in Thailand is quite cool as well. There's no pressure.
100%. You don't even have to tell anyone if you don't want to fight.
Go and do it, and then it's done really. So I'd say really, if you're maybe beginning, you've had a few fights, then go and do one out of there.
Yeah, go have a stint out there for a couple of months. I was lucky because now we're coming up, not on Instagram or anything like that, and I just get to fight in fucking working men clubs every weekend just to get the experience and get used to fighting in front of people. And but there's obviously none of that stuff going on now because everyone's got the camera phones out and stuff like that.
You can't get away with nothing.
Not a chance, mate. How long were it then before you like moved up, and what age were you fighting A-class from? When were you first like title fight and stuff like that, and where you made like a bit of a stamp on the British scene? When was that?
It was a bit of a weird one for me because 13 to about 15, 16. Like it'd be really weird. So one day I'd be fighting B-class rules. Then the next fight I'd be doing like a junior tournament thing, in shin pads and stuff. And then the next one I'd be back to C-class. And then, so it was really weird for me. It wasn't like, right, junior fights, interclubs, junior fights, C-class, B-class, A-class. It wasn't like in that order for me. It was just sort of whatever
you were getting at the time.
Whatever come up. Like the first fight I had was sort of pro K1, that was... and then the next one after that, I was doing like junior fights in shin pads. So it was really, really different for me. But
it's all experience, though. Yeah. So when you're that age, that's all you need. Just take whatever you can get. And I've said I've said this on this podcast many times. There's a lot of fighters out there who won't do that, and they'll be trying to pick different fights. Just when you're that age, just take it.
Just do it. Yeah. But it's the best thing for you because then when it counts and you got the big fights coming up, you're more experienced. You know what's coming a little bit more. And all the rest of it.
Exactly. I want to go back to that fight with Luke Emerson because that was the first time I saw you fight live. And I were in Luke's corner at that, and I remember watching you at the time. I'm thinking, "Fucking hell, this kid's good." Because I remember you were doing loads of right kick, you were doing loads of left kick. And it was like watching two. I think Luke must have been. I think he's about 26. Luke now, so he'll have been about 18.
Is he still training?
He's got 2 kids and stuff now, and he was a crazy guy, mate. He used to just fucking love getting his face smashed in. Yeah, he used just to jump into elbows and everything, blood all over him. Come on,
he was good, wasn't he? But he had a few losses, right? But he fought at a good British level, right?
Well, against Mark Skier, he got his jaw broke in round 2, and he came back to the corner and went, "My jaw's broke." I looked at him, I went, "No, Ian, shut the fuck up!" And I get back out there. He went back out, he won the fight, he went to hospital afterwards, he had his jaw pinned, plated and everything. I went, "Sorry, mate."
So, so it's basically your fault.
I literally, he sat down, he went, "It's clear as day, like it is to you." He went, "My jaw's broke." Yeah. And I thought, I said, mate, you won't be able to talk. Shut up. I said, get back out there and win the fight. He won the fight. Yeah, and then his jaw was fucked for 6 months then. But yeah, I remember that was the first time I watched it. I remember thinking this looked like two really experienced guys. How many fights did you have at that point?
I can't remember, but yeah, that was probably one of my hardest fights so far against Luke. But yeah, it was a good fight. But again, like where I was 15, he was just fucking too strong. Like if you look at, I remember watching back the fight. And at the end of it, I'm like blowing. I'm proper tight, just because to keep him off was such an effort.
Of course,
you know, like
I think he was like 19 maybe at the time, and that's coming into his man strength. And
yeah.
When you're 15, you've got the technique and that, but you haven't got that little bit extra.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like I'd look great on the pads and stuff, but then when it comes to the fighting, just keeping him off was such a big effort. And I'd always the only problem was I'd just be getting tired just from keeping him off.
Yeah,
you know. But like I said, now it's like so different because now you know if I push kick someone back then. They would just, whatever, they'll come forward. But if I'm push kicking someone now, they're like, fuck. Yeah, like I can see in their face it's different, you know, now.
Yeah,
so it's good. Yeah.
When did that come? How old were you when you first noticed the difference? How old was that?
So I had a break when I was 16. I took like 2.5 years out.
Okay.
And then when I come back at my first fight, I could see, you know, the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, fucking hell, to say you've had 2.5 years out, you've only been training like 7.5 years then, really. Look where you are already.
Yeah, like 9 years. Yeah. Yeah, it's been good, to be fair. Just... just keeping on training and just enjoying it. Yeah, it's been good.
When were your first like full Thai rules pro fight then? When were that?
It was 19, yeah. And that was after the 2.5 years out. I had one B class and then I jumped straight into an A class fight.
Who were it against?
Dominic Matu's like a really awkward fight. I don't know if you've seen him.
I've heard of his name before. Like what gym is he from?
Like I think he's from, I think he fights out at KO now in Bethnal Green, but he was from a different gym at the time. And he just throws like mad spinning shit and that. And that was a really close one. I lost that one on a majority decision, but it was really close. Like, and again, that one was about what you like, I think, as a judge, because he was maybe scoring more, kicking more, but every time I kicked him, I moved him.
Yeah.
So it's depending on
that gets
lost
in translation sometimes over here, and it's like it's a fight and it's based on effectiveness, really. So if you're moving him more, then
I thought I won that one, but again, if you're judging, you like the other stuff, then you like the other stuff. Then, so
true. When was you started? I think with Conor McCormack you beat not long back. You won it with Conor, won it. Yeah, that obviously Conor were a good name. He knocked Tim Thomas out and stuff, and people like that.
Yeah. So he's come off a good run. Yeah,
people must have stood up then and started to really take notice. Did you find that after that fight?
That fight was, I think, to get my name in like the British level. That fight sort of made it for me.
Whose show was that one on? Raw?
That was on Raw. That was on Raw. But that was. There's a lot of pressure on that one because it was like for the number one spot. Chris
where were it? 70?
70 kilos. Yeah. Chris put the title up for it as well. So and Conor's he's freaking tough. Like
he's strong, very strong. I've sparred with him a few times.
He's good.
Very
he's
strong.
Long, tall, and we was just chucking elbows at each other like there's no tomorrow. It was one of them ones. I remember you saying when you fought Sanchai for the second time, and you was like just killing each other. And it's like, I fucking love this. It was one of them ones for me. I was like, I loved it. This is brilliant.
Well, obviously that's number one spot, got everyone standing up. Was that for the Raw World title as well, right? That's a fucking big win. And then was it a tie you fought on there?
For Nopakau, who was he just lost his Lumpini title to Yusuf Bognem. The same year
I remember him. I didn't realise it was the same one.
Right, So I fought him. That was a weird one as well because he came over, and at the weigh-in, we was doing the face-off. And we was looking at each other, and he was like going to me, "Oh, I know. Look, I'm shy." He's going I was like, "Well, we're about to fight each other." And the next day we was fighting, and I remember I caught him with the first elbow, and he sort of went, "Oh," like that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Shit, I don't want to throw elbows at this guy. He doesn't want to be it, you know." So I was a bit too nice to him in the first few rounds, and then I ended up stopping him in the fifth. I was like, because at one point he did let his punches go on me. I thought, right, I'm not having this.
Fuck this. Yeah.
So I stopped him in the fifth round.
How come when you were like that? Do you think you didn't want to?
I think he come over for a bit of money. To be fair, I think he's won the Lumpini title and he's done his bit, and now he's just here to fight and make some extra cash.
While we're just quickly on this subject, is that a fight you'd like in the future? A fight against Yusuf? I know he's a little bit heavier than you, but do you think that would be a good one?
He's a little bit heavier, but I'd like to stay in one. I'd like to fight on one.
Why isn't Yusuf in one? Has he been asked, or was it?
Well, I think it's because of the weight difference, because he's 72.5, right?
Oh yeah, he's going to have to fight at 77, isn't he?
Where do you go if you're a 72.5 fighter?
That's the thing with the MMA weight classes. Obviously, one's an MMA weight classes. in between, is it? You're either 70 or you're 77, and that jump.
Yeah, it's
you're
massive.
either fighting like Nicky Olskin, who's massive,
big.
punching your head in. No one wants that for a 72 kilo fighter.
So what do you do?
Yeah, the thing is, Youssef, I don't think he can get to 70 because he's a big 72, but he's not a 77.
And especially with a hydration test, the multiple weigh-ins during the week.
Do you just want to touch on that? You mentioned it a few times. Do you want to explain to people listening on this? Because we mentioned it a few times before and had loads of messages going, what's the thing? Do you want to just explain what you have to do for the one weigh-ins?
So yes, it's basically like a weigh-in system like no other combat, no other like promotion does it like that, right?
Yeah.
So you'll do an unofficial weigh-in on a Tuesday, and they just want to check where you at just to see like you're near your fight weight.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I did it and I was 2.5 kilos over, and I thought, lovely. And they went, whoa, what are you doing? And I thought, 2.5 kilos? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. No, it's bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly the same as what I was doing. And then on the Wednesday you got to do your official weigh-in, your hydration test, and you just got to pee in a cup and they'll check your hydration levels. Yeah.
And is it if you're below 150, is it that you fail? Or 250?
Yeah, 250.
Yeah, you failed, or
you fail. Anything over 250, you're a fail. But and then if you fail, then you have to also weigh in on the day of your fight, which is what I had to do once
against Kel.
We'll
come to that in a bit.
Nightmare.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a bit, because after knockout, was this when you got the call for one?
Yeah, that's when I got the call. I took that one on 6 weeks, and it was it wasn't an ideal situation for that one. I'm not making any excuses. I lost it fair and square, but I took it on 6 weeks, and it was a bit like, right, you got a one contract here, but you got to fight Kel. If you don't fight him, you ain't got the contract.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, so it's like,
fuck it, bring it on.
I'm going to go and do it. And I was in Thailand at the time. I was at Kiapon Gym, and I was training out there, and my trainer Chris called me up, and he just said, like, listen, come home and we'll get training for this one, because I'll like prepare you for it. So I literally flew home, and the training actually went really well. For like 5 weeks, we trained really hard, and I felt fit.
Had you fought much K1?
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
But obviously, Kel's like one of the elite guys, and has been for many years. So he's obviously a lot more experienced than you are at K1 rules.
Like he beat
Jordan.
He beat Jordan, did he?
Yeah, beat Jordan. He'd beat a lot of good guys. I mean,
beat Bukau, didn't he?
Yeah. He's beat so many good people. He's one of the best K1 guys around on the scene.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is with him, I was saying to my friend about it, it's not his power. He just comes forward non-stop. And he is non-stop. He will not let you off. He'll not let you breathe.
That's his name, the Whirlwind, isn't it?
Hurricane.
Hurricane, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But he's not particularly strong at all. He just will not stop it. Yeah.
But so your training went well for that. But did you say you had some problems on the week of the fight where you're getting used to the new weigh-in?
Yeah,
because it scared me the first time I had to do it. I was shitting myself all week against, obviously not against Phetmorakot, because I just stepped in at 70 and I was only weighing 69 at the time. Yeah. So I didn't even have to worry. Yeah. So I was just getting on and off the scales. I was having breakfast every morning. But when I did it against Rodlek, I was stressing myself out so much. Yeah. And on the day of the weigh-in, the first one, I drank so much water, it must have been impossible for me not to piss. But I froze. And I couldn't fucking piss. Yeah. I go to Andy going, I can't piss. I'm not going to piss. I fucked it. He was going, just calm down and then go run some water under your hands or something. So I'm stood upstairs with my hands in tap trying to get me sent to piss. But I've drunk 3 litres. I'm thinking, how am I not be able to piss here? I had to sit down,
3 litres.
calm myself down, and then go to the top. And it all just worked out in the end. But it was just the fact that I wasn't used to it. 115 fights of never doing that and then throwing it on you.
I think people don't get how stressful it can be on the week as well.
Yeah.
I remember when I was, because you got someone watching you, don't you, when you go for a piss. Yeah. And you're like sort of going, it's usually bigger, but you're like,
I'm making weight, Dick. That's what it is.
So you got someone watching you, and I remember because I had failed the day before, so I was so nervous.
What did you fail on then?
I failed the hydration. I made my weight. Fine, but I failed the hydration test the day before.
On the Wednesday?
On the Wednesday. Yeah. So this was the Thursday, and that was like multiple attempts on the Wednesday of trying it.
Right. So what happened then? Did you have to weigh in on the day?
I had to weigh in on the day of the fight, yeah. But on the Thursday, I was so nervous about the weigh-in that I knew I'd passed it because I drank like 3 litres as well. I knew I'd passed it. I was on weight. I was like, fucking yes. So I'm peeing in the cup, and I've looked at it, I've gone, yes. Fucking dropped it. The guys look at me going, mate, what are you doing? Like that. Drop piss everywhere.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
It just did me, did that.
Drop piss everywhere. Had to put a sweatsuit on and do it all over a fucking game.
No.
Yeah, running in the hot sun.
Fuck me. Where were it? What country were they?
That was in Myanmar, yeah.
Oh, were it?
So that stadium is known to be one of the hottest stadiums in the world.
Is that Burma? Myanmar?
Burma, yeah.
I
Myanmar.
don't think I'm allowed in there. Dave LeDuc won't allow me. He won't let me go in with LeDuc. I'll probably get killed if I set foot in there. Mate, I got death threats from Burmese people.
No way.
When I had that little beef with LeDuc, they're all sending me death threats on Facebook and stuff. So I'm definitely don't think I can go there. Yeah. So yeah, obviously the fight came up and you were doing good for the first round, but did the weight incident take a bit of an effect on you?
Just felt like really unenergised.
The first round was sick.
Yeah, I think I won that first round. Caught him with some good stuff, good jumping knee. I caught him with. But yeah, the energy just went, and then coming into the second round, he caught me with a good body kick, and it was like one of them. It wasn't. It was enough that I felt it.
Yeah.
And then my hands just started to drop, and I was just like, it was one of them where I thought, right. Like I was getting the ache, I was like, live to sort of fight another day. One of them ones. So, because otherwise, I just thought I would have got like.
Yeah, if your hand's starting to come down against someone like him, you can take some serious damage.
It was just one of them ones, and I would love that rematch though. Yeah, I'd love to fight him again.
Yeah,
Muay Thai or K1.
Yeah, 100%. You can definitely beat him. 100, definitely.
I believe so. Yeah, but like I'm not saying I would have beat him if everything went right the first time, but I'm sure I would have went the distance with him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So then. After that fight, you got your next one were at Bamplinoy, the stadium champion, elite level, pitching D. That was Muay Thai rules. Was that small gloves?
That was big gloves.
Oh, big gloves. That was before they brought in the mandatory small gloves. What happened with that fight then? Did you have a decent camp for that one, or it's a bit...
No, again, I took that on 3 weeks' notice.
3 weeks?
Yeah,
fucking
3 weeks' notice.
Well, the thing is that, like we just mentioned about the weight there, 3 weeks' notice to do the weight cut and stuff like that, that comes back to like what you said, always being a bit ready, just ticking over a little bit, ready to go.
Yeah, always train, always just ticking over, so then when the call comes and they say, right, 3 weeks, it's on, I'm there, you know, I'm ready to go. But that one was really crazy, training for Bamplinoy, because we had Salah, he was fighting in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going out to corner with him, and then we scheduled that before. So literally I had to go to Vegas with Salah. I trained myself in a hotel gym for a week on my own, just with a sweatsuit on. And then flew back to London, did a week's training with Chris, and then we flew out to Thailand.
Wow, I bet you're fucking knackered.
For Bamplinoy, I was all right actually.
What are you doing?
I felt really good.
Young and fresh, mate. Young and fresh. Yeah. I'd need to sleep for a week if I went fucking flew to Vegas and back. That fight, I thought you won. What did you think?
I thought, you know when you...
And you dropped him.
Yeah, dropped him. Like, they should have
no count.
That. Yeah, they should have
Because
counted.
one is not the same as stadium rules Muay Thai, where if you get a count and bounce back up, you're all right. Yeah. That's stadium rules. They always tell you before one, if you get hit and touch your glove, you're getting a count. And I've seen many people do that and get a count, but they didn't in that fight.
I don't know why. I just think he made a mistake. You know, simple as that. The ref made a mistake. And
it's a shame that, though, because you'd have a win over a stadium Thai champion on your record and stuff, but it happens, doesn't it, I suppose?
I mean, like, I'm not too fussed because... Well, you know, I think
did that sick fucking jumping kick right in his face.
Yeah.
To be fair, he took it like a champ.
Yeah, he did.
Because that had knocked many a man's spark out.
But he's chinny. He is chinny though, Bamplinoy. He's fighting not tomorrow, the weekend after, and he's got a tough Russian. I think he'll either score on the guy or he'll get stops. Yeah,
really.
So, and he's small gloves as well. He's fighting a really tough Russian.
Right. Okay. So, who's a Russian?
I don't know. I've watched a few of his fights though. He's fought like Bogner and all them boys. So he's good.
Good level.
So it'll be a good fight.
How did you feel after that fight? Then obviously you had 2 losses, but that one you've obviously put a really good account in for yourself. I remember when it happened at the time, I was sharing it on my Instagram and stuff, saying I thought you won, and a lot of other people were as well. Either way, when you fight someone at that level and just fight that well, it's still a bit of a win. Yeah, and everyone at one probably saw your potential, your talent, and how good you really are that fight.
Yeah, that's it. And I was glad as well because things went so wrong on the first one.
Yeah.
To then come and have a better one, it did feel good, and I didn't walk out of there feeling like I'd lost the fight. I thought, well, you know, I didn't get it, you know, whatever.
It happens.
Yeah, one of them ones.
So after that, the next one was against my favourite guy in the one list.
I knew he was going to say this.
Old brown pinas.
Big brown pinas.
Yeah. That one, that was in the small gloves, wasn't it? Was that your first time in the small gloves?
First time, yeah.
What changes did you realise you had to make to do that? Because it's a bit of a shock to the system when you put them little things on at first.
We was talking about it today. You just got to change your guard a little bit, right? But I was still using the long guards.
Yeah. Well, I fucked it up. I left my shoulder down. It's got me smacked right in the face.
Yeah, I still think it can work.
Yeah, as long as you do it, it has to be perfect though, doesn't it? Really, like no gaps at all, because it's difficult with those on to not. Like, if you're a bit lazy with it, you might get away with it with bigger
gloves.
They
can pull it down and all the rest of it. But like Sangman, he fought the other day, and when he fought Kulubdam, his fucking guard was like
ridiculous,
like that. Yeah,
mate.
If I was fighting Kulubdam, I'd be like,
mate, I just stood like that. So you obviously that Brown Pinas, he's I was calling Brown because I just start laughing every time I say it. He's a good K1 style. He's a good puncher, but he's unorthodox as well. He's had some good wins on one. He had the back elbow. Yeah. How did you prepare for that one?
Well, I watched this fight. He fought Bang Pinoy as well.
Oh, did he?
And Bang Pinoy just freaking schooled him, just left kicked him to death. So I watched that fight once, and I thought, right, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to left kick him. And
did you feel any pressure going into that after 2 losses? Because me and you were in the same position there, because I lost my first 2 as well. And although my second one were a better performance and a really good fight, I still felt the pressure going into the next one.
Because they're ruthless, aren't they? Even though you fought well twice, you know, you have another loss and you could be out.
Yeah, you never know, do you?
Yeah, so the pressure was there, but as soon as the fight started, I felt so comfortable, and I didn't need to risk anything. Chris was on me because he was like to me, "Oh, you know, you should have come forward. You could have definitely knocked him out, you know, straight." But I was like, I just thought in that one I didn't need to. I was scoring so well, I didn't need to take any risks.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got 2 losses, what you don't want to do really, you just have to do what you have to do.
So I did what I had to do in that one, but it gave me confidence to fight in the little ones as well. Yeah,
definitely. Did they all catch you in them? Because he was quite a good puncher.
Yeah, he got me a couple of times, but. He wasn't a massive punch. He's just
sharp,
fast.
Yes, Dutch style. So obviously you've got your first win for him now. You're hoping you can fight again before the end of the year. Who do you think is going to be a fast track to getting you a title shot? Because obviously Phetmorakot is going to be the main goal, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whoever's defending it. Whoever's got the belt. He's defending it against Magnus soon, I think, next week. Whoever's got the belt is the main goal. Who do you think, or who do you want to fight in that division? Who do you think is going to be a slingshot or a fast track to getting that shot? Who would you like next?
Well, I was signed to fight Joe Natawat in April.
Sick fight. That'll be a good fight.
Yeah, I think it will. This is before COVID all happened, so it was like a few weeks into training. It was like 4 or 5 weeks. I got my weight right down, and then it got obviously called off. So that fight's still signed to happen. So I'm guessing that will be the next one unless they change it. And he's ranked 3rd now.
That'd be perfect. Get you straight in there, coming off 2 wins. Yeah. That could definitely.
So I think I'm perfect for him as well. Like southpaw, tall, long. You know, when I watch him fight people like George Mann, like that's.
He was struggling with George's height.
He did really well. Yeah. He did. Until he got caught.
But to be fair, I think that's one of his main strengths. He's a hard puncher, isn't he? Yeah. But if you can keep him off and just outscore him, I think, like you just said, he might be tailor-made for you.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I believe he is. And just fight the way sort of George was doing it. And like if you see his fight with Sami Sana as well, you know, another guy tall. I don't think he's southpaw though, but yeah, I think in that fight I'd just stick to that, you know, kicking and moving. But yeah, that'd be a good fight. That's the one I want next.
And he's had some good wins as Joe as well, hasn't he? He's obviously beat wins. George Mann. He's knocked out that. What did he knock out? He knocked him out horrendously against the cage and folded him like a deck chair. I can't remember. French guy. Yeah, he knocked him out really badly. So obviously he's ranked number 3. Or his last fight, Petrosian, his last fight, wasn't it? In the kickboxing tournament. I fought
that day as well on one. That's when I fought Bang Pinoy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Petrosian fucking,
hit him straight on chin.
Short left hand. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good fight. Is there anyone else in that division who you've got your eye on? I think that me and him would make a good fight.
That French guy.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I'm happy to fight anyone now. I'm confident to fight with anyone in my weight. As long as it's my weight and I train hard, my weight's on point, I'm happy to get in there with anyone now.
Yeah. Obviously, you've got you and Jonathan both in one together, both in the same gym. How's that, having you both, when you're both on there, both fighting together?
Yeah, cool. It's really good. And there's been a few times before we were both fighting on one where we both had fights coming up at the same time, and we'd just be training together and it'd be wicked sparring and like there was, you know, when you just got good atmosphere in the gym and you're buzzing and you're looking forward to training.
That's the best thing, like when you think, wicked, I'm going to have a good session tonight, especially if he's fighting at the same time as well. And
yeah, so yeah, I mean, when we were training together, we had good chemistry, And yeah, it's just good atmosphere, and there always is, to be fair, in our gym. We've got good guys.
Well, I like watching the videos from the guys in your gym because Chris is a sick trainer, and I like watching the padvert videos, and I like watching you sparring. I like all little tricks and stuff, and I pick stuff up myself.
Oh, wicked!
I do. I like watching. Oh, I'm gonna do that tomorrow on Badger or Andy or something like that. What's it like sparring with him? Is I don't know, you're a little bit bigger, but.
Mate, he hits like a 70
fighter. Yeah, exactly.
So it's good for me, and because he's lighter, he's faster. So he's got the speed, and he hits like he's someone my weight. So it's quality for me.
That's what I enjoy about my play sparring. I do it like with the smaller guys. Like I've been doing it with McGowan a lot recently, and because he's a lot smaller, he's sharp, he's fast, so and it's like there's sometimes that little split second when my block don't come up just as quick, and it goes in. So he's really good for your reaction and stuff like that. But like you say, he can fucking bang as well, can't he?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So what other? I've seen a few other people down there sparring. You had the Scottish. Nico down and stuff recently. How was that sparring with them guys? Because it looked good on. It
was a good sparring day. I think everyone was just a bit like out of shape.
Yeah, mate, honestly, my first one back after that, it was fucking pathetic. I couldn't even lift my leg up, mate. It was scandalous.
Yeah. So it was just one of them. Everyone was a bit, and it was hot as well. It was like 30 degrees that day. We'd done about 15 rounds, and we went like 5 rounds in. And I was like, should we call it a day? Yeah. But yeah, mate, we always get good sparring down there. It's a good gym to be at.
I've got a few questions coming off people. Have we got any more, Scully? Right, I'll ask you this one first before that one. Obviously, Jack Cooper has been chasing you for a fight. This one was, would you be open to fighting him? Obviously, you're signed to one. Unless he gets signed, I'm guessing it's not going to be able to happen. But would you be open to fighting him or?
I would be open to fighting him. But the thing is, for me, like I've fought domestic my whole career up until the last few years, and I've just started to fight international. So I'd rather just
everyone's got goals and stuff, and obviously his is been like trying to chase you because you're there, you're in the position that everybody wants. But for you, your goals are going to be obviously staying in that position and furthering yourself. And like you say, you just had a really good win. You've got more fights coming up, and you could just be like just one big knockout win or one big win away from a title shot. So obviously you want to stay there and focus on them goals, right?
For sure. Yeah, for now that's what I want to do. I want to stick to fighting international because, like I said, I've fought British guys in my whole career up until the last few years. So it's like almost like why sort of go back to doing that? But mate, never say never. You know, at the moment with what's going on, you might just have to fight whatever you got to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would you say is the best British guy you fought? Would you say, but Connor?
Connor. I also fought Charlie Guest.
Charlie's good. Yeah,
he was a good fight.
He's been in Thailand a long time now.
Yeah, he's fought a lot of good Thais as well. Yeah. We had a good fight. Yeah.
Has he gone to MMA? I've seen him doing some MMA. I'm sure he have.
Yeah, I think so. I want him to stick with Thai though. He's good
sick
at
Thai.
Yeah,
he's really good. Yeah. He came and trained with me at Bad Company before, and I thought, oh shit, he's decent.
Solid,
this kid. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's moved to MMA though.
Right. Okay. What's Haggerty doing? Is he doing MMA? I see him throwing people on the floor and shit. Yeah. Or is that just for camera, or is he really considering doing that?
I think he is considering doing it. Nice. Yeah, because he's trained MMA like his whole career as well. He's done bits of jiu-jitsu and stuff.
Right. Okay. I thought it was just a recent thing because I've seen him putting it a lot more on his Instagram and stuff recently.
And he's going to Rodtang. Let's have a trilogy. Yeah. MMA rules though this time.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Because I've seen him doing a bit Rodtang, and
he's been doing some rolling. So yeah.
Yeah, because obviously he's misses. What was that question then, mate?
So it's a question for you both. How do you balance putting in all the extra hours and hard work, but avoiding burnout and injury?
Well, we touched on that at the beginning. How do you? It's got to be a fine balance, hasn't it? You've got to do enough just to tick over, but not enough where you're going to burn out. And then when you do get the chance to, or get a call to fight, 5-6 week or even 3-4 week or however long you've got, that's when you want to be pushing it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, like especially for my age now, I'm 34. If I can't train like for a fight all the way through, I'll just start falling to pieces. Yeah. I'll do enough at the minute. I'm just doing probably once a day. Then when I get the call for the fight, I'll do twice a day and run in S&C, all of it.
And I think for you, like you've had so many fights, so many fight camps. You know where your body can get it back. Yeah,
it's muscle memory and stuff like that. It's not so much the fights that take it out of you. It is the training that takes it out for you, and the sparring and the stuff like that. And if you're doing that constantly all year round, it's just not going to work. You won't get past 26, 27 years old doing that, especially if you're young.
Yeah, this is where I've been making the mistake as well. Is like, it's just going right hard every day. You know, it doesn't need to be hard every day. You know, sometimes when you're feeling knackered from training so hard, it's fine to just come in, do a little bit of training, and you don't have to like kill yourself every time. Yeah.
Well, I see fucking Jacob Smith. Do you follow Jacob Smith?
Yeah.
He puts a different workout up every morning, and I look at it and I feel right bad about myself because I look at it and go, "Ooh, I couldn't do that once, let alone every single fucking day." He is a machine, that guy, and I don't know how he's doing it. To be fair, he put one up of a day and it was like, I just did like 80 muscle ups, 400 burpees,
like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're eating a sandwich.
Yeah. Like, exactly that. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, but he does that every morning with like his strength guy, and then he's doing Thai boxing. But to be fair, he's like one of the fittest guys I've ever seen.
Mate, fair play to him. Yeah,
but my body just won't be able to. I don't know how he's doing it, to be fair. Because I remember we had a big sparring day at Bad Company, and there were like 15 of us. There were Phetmorakot and Jack Kennedy and Jacob were there. And it got to like round 12 or something, and I was fucked. And I was like, right, that's enough. And he was still bouncing around, fit as fuck. And I'm thinking, this guy's something else.
Yeah. But what do you think about all that training, that CrossFit style for Muay Thai? Because it's not going to improve your technique.
Nah, right? It's something I don't do. I tried doing CrossFit once and I just fucking hurt myself. It's probably because my technique was shit, so I hate it now.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I do my S&C with my S&C guy just for like my explosive power and stuff like that. I'll do it once or twice a week.
And that's all you need. Yeah.
That's
the
rest
rest
all I do.
is pad, sparring, and
because it's got to be sport specific. I'll do sprints a couple of times a week as well because I've said this recently, I don't really agree with running for miles now because you don't need to check out your knees, especially if you're close to weight. You fight in bursts. Yeah. So I think the best thing for that is sprints.
Yeah, 100%. Hill sprints. Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, 100%. Because those long runs, they're good for cutting weight.
Yeah.
But like you said, you don't fight just at a steady pace the whole time. You know, you're up and down, aren't you? And when I do my sprint now, I'll sprint to the top of the hill. And then we got a guy at the top of the hill with pads and stuff. We'll do like 10 kicks, walk back down, sprint up. Yeah.
Right.
We do all that now.
That's it. Bad company people who are training for next fight. You're getting made to do that because our gym's on a lovely little hill as well. So I'll have them running up and down that. Any more questions, brother?
No, go back on your obviously recovery. You're big on CBD, aren't you?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I am. And this week's episode is actually sponsored by my CBD organic relief. But yeah, I use that massively. I've got arthritis in both my hands, and it keeps it at bay. Amazing. Did you all use all that, like cryotherapy or anything like that? You're still young though. Yeah, you're still fresh. This will be you in like 10 years' time. Right. And you're not fucking haggard like me and can't even get up steps.
Yeah, no, I don't use it. I got a sponsor that do a massage gun. Pinpoint. Yeah. So I use them. They're pretty good. That's all I use. Yeah.
To be fair, when I was 23, I want too bad either, but I need everything I can get now. Cryotherapy, ice baths. I'm looking for everything. Infrared sauna. Just looking for an answer anyway. Just stop me hurting. Our Andy's worse, mate. He's 40 now, and because he holds pads all the time as well. He's just fucked.
Yeah, it does take it out of you, doesn't it? Holding pads all day.
Well, I was telling you earlier that holding pads is worse than training for a fight. Because I've been in that gym this morning from 8 till 2 or whatever it was, and I was fucked. I trained a little bit myself in between as well, but with the pads that they took it, taking it out of me. Is that what you do? Do you do a lot of PTs and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of PTs now. But like I was saying to you as well, like I've got guys because I've been training. Most of my guys I've trained for like 3 to 5 years. So they're happy to just have like a bit of sparring with me, some drills or whatever. So I don't have to hold pads every time. Still have to do it now and again, but now I'll try and get some drills in. It's good for me as well. I'll still get some training in.
Obviously, you've been mentioned as one of the best up-and-comers on this podcast a few times. Who do you think is one of your favourite up-and-comers? Is it who should we watch out for it? Who should anyone be looking out for in the UK?
My favourite fighter in the UK right now is Niall Brown.
Nah, he's sick, isn't he?
He's sick.
He's sick, mate. And he does some crazy unorthodox shit and then just elbows you in face.
Yeah.
As Craven knows. Rearranged his face.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
So relaxed. He throws unorthodox stuff, but he's still got that like Thai style base, isn't he? Yeah. And then out of nowhere he'll throw like a spinning kick or something. Yeah, because
his fight with Craven, we were trying to prep for loads of elbows getting thrown at him. And he still somehow just managed to straight away, bang, just knocked him down or cut him straight away because he throws him at different angles or he'll set him up by doing something a little bit different. He's not just stood there and comes in to do it. There's always something else happening which puts him off that and then boom.
Yeah. No, he's one to watch, I think. I think him and Yusuf Bugnam would be a good fight.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Because two different styles. Yeah. How would it go? Yeah.
Don't know, especially with Niall, he's unpredictable. Yeah. Anyone in the UK who you think should be signed for one?
Yeah, I think Liam McGrandles.
Oh yeah, Liam.
Yeah, I sparred him.
Oh, you how would that go?
Mate, shocking how like good he is actually, and I didn't, because he's so basic, but he's really good at the basics. And
basics win fights, mate.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, we sparred one day, and then I called him up. I was like, oh, should we do that again? And just me and him just met up and just sparred again the next day.
Oh, nice, because I think him and Ellis were on about coming up to Bad Company at some point, so that'll be good to get some rounds in with him. Because Ellis is sick as well.
Ellis is good, he's a little aggressive.
Yeah, like a little fucking pocket rocket.
Yeah, little tank.
Yeah. What weight does he fight, 55?
Like lower, like 53 or something.
Really?
Yeah,
is he that small?
Small, yeah.
Shit.
Tiny weight.
Yeah, it'd be good to get them up, because obviously he'll have some good sparring with McGowan up at ours, and our Andy, if he can fucking get himself out of his fucking off his Zimmer frame and put some gloves on.
Nice.
So yeah, you reckon Liam McGrandle should be signed?
Yeah, 100%.
I've only seen him fight a few times. And I saw him fight that Thai, and he were unlucky against that Thai.
Yeah. Chetbin.
No, Jack Sada.
Yeah, that's
he's from Venom Camp, and he works out there, and he's Champwek, I think his name is. He's experienced.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's very, very good.
Yeah. He's fought a few good Thais now, hasn't he? He's won a couple of WBCs.
Did he fight Chetbin? Did he beat him?
He beat Chetbin.
He didn't he?
He beat Chetbin, yeah. But I definitely think he deserves a contract. I'm not sure who else. Niall Brown, but again, he's at 72 and a half. So
yeah,
where would he fit in? Like, he can't make 70 and he can't fight 77.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Like we mentioned earlier, that is a.
Unless he just does catch weights the whole time, but then there's no point.
There's no goal.
There's no end goal to it. Yeah.
Because when I were a bit worried at first about not being able to do the 65 hydrated, I'm thinking, I said, can't you fight at 66 or 67? And they went, no. I went, why? They went, what's the point? He said, you'll never be able to push us then for a title fight. And I'm like, oh yeah. I think there's been a few people who struggled like that. I think Charlie Peters has struggled a little bit, because obviously he cuts a lot of weight to get to 67.
Yeah.
And obviously he can't get to the lower. And he's just going to be stuck at 70, and he struggled agained Petch, didn't he?
Yeah, 70 was just too big for him, I think.
Yeah, but obviously 65 is too
light for him. So where does he go? You know, what does he do? And again, if he just fights at catch weight the whole time, like he's not going to ever think about fighting for the world title.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's a tough one.
It's a lose-lose.
I think they should just open more weight categories.
Yeah, true. It should be like the MMA one. It's a tough one, because we said it earlier. 70 kilo to 77 is a fucking stone.
Massive difference.
It's huge.
Yeah.
If you look at, say, you at 70.
Yeah, compared to Nicky Olsky.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I mean? Or someone like that. Or there's even like, I think you're quite big for 70, to be fair. If you look at one of the smaller 70 fighters, like Brown, who you fought, he's a bit smaller than you and stuff. If you put him against Olsky or something like that, it's going to be a massacre, won't it?
Yeah.
So I think there should be probably a 72.5 division, maybe. I'm sure UFC talked about bringing other weight classes in, didn't they? Or at one point. What happened to that?
It never got done. I think they was trying to do between lightweight and welterweight, and a weight between them two, but it never happened.
Yeah.
White pulled it.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, you can't. A 70 at 77, it's a full stone. It's ridiculous. It's like what I did when I jumped in against Petch, and like we said, we all know what happened there. You versus Phetmorakot. How would you see that going at the minute? Do you think you can beat him?
I'd like to have another fight before. Yeah. I'd like to have maybe one or two more fights, just to get my confidence in the little gloves, get used to the one stuff again. Because my last fight was in November, because of COVID. Not had a fight for a while now. So
it might be a full year by the time.
Exactly, because next fight will maybe be November again. So yeah, that's a full year. So I'd like to have one or two more fights. And then I think I'd like to fight him, because I remember watching you fight him and watching Eliverdi fight him.
Oh yeah.
And I think when you fought him, you did like everything right.
Yeah.
A bigger version of that.
Yeah.
Could have done it. Even when he was coming forward, he was boxing him and doing everything right. It was just the size difference.
I was just too small. Aliverdi fucking smacked him round at floor with a spinning back fist, didn't he?
He's well.
Mate, he's sick him. He does crazy unorthodox shit.
He's one of my favourite fighters. And he beat him, didn't he?
He beat him. Yeah, I think that was Petch's last fight at the 65 division, and apparently he was really fucked trying to make weight.
Yeah.
And then after that, he had started fighting at 70. He had 2 or 3 at 70 before I fought him. He fought a few K1 guys, I think.
Yeah.
And then when I fought him, I remember watching him in the stadiums fighting like Sexan and Sanchai down at 62, 63 and stuff. Yeah. And I'd not stood next to him, because obviously then you didn't weigh in the same room.
Yeah.
So they go into a room, weigh in, and then I did. And then I didn't see him properly until the referee went and come to the centre to touch gloves. And I kept looking, and he kept getting bigger. And I thought, what have I done here?
Shit.
And I took it on a week's notice as well. Yeah. It was December. I'd been on piss. It's Christmas coming up. And I thought, yeah, I'll be all right. Wrong. Big mistake. So how would you go about fighting him at the minute? How would you fight him? 2 southpaws?
Either exactly how you did it. You know,
minus getting your head smacked off.
Same plan, but you know where I've got that, you know, that height and I'm a bit bigger. You know, if I stuck to that, I think I could do it. And then the way Alaverdi did it, you know, just didn't give a shit. Just come forward, spinning stuff. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing with Thais, like because they fight in the stadiums, they've had hundreds of fights that
all the
Thai
same way. Yeah.
All that sort of slow pace. If you can hit him with some unusual stuff, like, you know, some jump, that's why I like all the jumping stuff and the unorthodox techniques.
I'm too small for that. I can't get off the floor.
Yeah. Plyometrics.
Yeah. So I can jump, I just can't get my leg up whilst I jump.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the way I think to beat them, like throw stuff and do stuff that they've not seen before in their hundreds fights, you know. Yeah. So that'd be the sort of plan, I guess. So
winning the one title, obviously that's the pinnacle for everyone. Would you stick with Muay Thai, or would you look at doing anything else, or is your heart always going to be with Muay Thai?
Yeah, I love doing Muay Thai at the moment, but I'd fight kickboxing rules as well, you know. And
who's got the belt on that? Is it vacant still? Because I know Petrosian won the tournament.
Petrosian won the tournament, but I think he'd be next in line when he Petrosian.
Yeah. Well, they've now got in there City Chai, Superman, Ozcon. They've got some serious K1 guys. I'm sure they just signed someone else as well the other day, and I remember thinking, fucking hell.
Yeah, my weight is 70 kilos in
the kickboxing. But it's the pinnacle of the kickboxing.
Yeah,
and it always has been, hasn't it? Even in the K1 Max days, in the glory days, the Showtime days, 70 kilos was always the main weight.
Yeah. That division is crazy.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Do you think anyone can beat it, Petrosian, in them kickboxing rules?
No.
Never do I. I think
Yeah, like he just looks good every fight, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And if you watch his old fights compared to him now, he just looks like even smarter and even more calculated.
Well, that's what you have to do when you get older. You've got to, like you said about longevity earlier, you need to pick your shots, not waste anything, not just be getting a war every time.
Yeah.
And he's the perfect example of that. He's like just a kickboxing machine, basically, and he just goes in there. He don't waste anything. No. His eyes are unbelievable. His footwork is incredible. And his footwork is a very basic but very tough thing to master. And if your feet are right, everything else is going to be right with it. And he's never, ever wrong.
Yeah. Like, it's just the subtle little things he does, like the little step round to the right he does from that southpaw position.
And that fucking right hook and stuff.
Yeah, left straight, right hook. You know, all so simple. And we could probably all do it in the gym. Yeah. But the way he does it, there's just something
he's a special fighter. Yeah. Right, Liam, mate, we're going to wrap this up. Where can people find you on your social medias and stuff like that? Is there any sponsors you want to shout out or anything?
Shout out to my gym, Milty Academy, and shout out to my sponsor Pride and Pinpoint Pro. Thank you for the massage gun. and you can find me on Instagram, Liam Nolan 100.
There you go. I would definitely recommend everyone, if you don't know Liam is, if you've never seen any of his fights, have a look at him. He's one of the brightest. I'm going to say prospects, but you're not a prospect anymore now. You're there, mate. And I'm looking forward to watching your journey in one, and hopefully you can get that title shot.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Right. Cheers, guys. Thank you everyone for listening.